Giving you their love language is also giving them the key to destroy them. And if someone's giving you that much vulnerability, then you need to treat it as such.
Welcome back to the Conscious Connection, where we keep the lines of communication open. My name is Marquis C. Copper,
I'm Javon Moore.
and let's get into it. Do you at all feel like your love languages are important? Well, how important are they when it plays into your mental health inside your relationship? Let's talk about it.
So obviously, let's get into the 5 love languages. Now, I am not good at naming all these, so I'm gonna name as many as I can. I know there's gift giving, there's quality time, there's physical touch, acts of service, and
words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation, right? Now, I feel like, check this out. Each of those love languages have a toxic trait.
I actually will agree in a sense. In a sense, I do agree.
Okay. In what way?
See, well, let me give my stance on it. I believe that love languages are people's excuses to not knowing how to actually love, because all those things are facets of love. And then people are taking pieces that they want and making their own thing out of it. It's like if you read a book, right? A book that's an instructional book, right? And you were supposed to read the book as a whole, like the 48 Laws of Power, right? Something like that, right? Where you read this instructional book and you're supposed to put it all together. People take bits and pieces and interpret it how they want to interpret it and figure that's how it's supposed to be. Well, love is not supposed to be interpreted 10,000 different ways. Love is one love. And you're not really supposed to use the word in the definition, but love is single, it's whole. So if you take all these different facets of what love is and the things that go along with love, and you pick and choose what you want, how do you know if you're actually in love and what kind of love you actually have?
I agree to a certain extent, but in the same way, it's just like these are love languages, right? So again, it's equivalent to saying, yes, love is one thing, just like communication is one thing, but again, communicate in your language. So hold on a second, right? I feel like with love languages, it's more like someone's mother tongue, right? So I may be able to speak 5 languages, but what I'm comfortable in, what I'm fluent in, and what I'm happy in is my main language, right? So of course I can speak to you in Spanish. I would rather speak to you in English, but I can speak to you in Spanish. It's the same thing. My thing is my love language is physical touch, right? So again, I can give words of affirmation. I'm good at words of affirmation. I would like a hug, but
I think most guys would like a hug.
I would like a hug, but I can speak the other parts of the languages. So it's just like to say love is more like one thing, when it's just like we all have our own mother tongue. We all have our own, niche of how we want to be loved, and understanding that love niche is is like powerful, bro. Powerful, bro.
Well, you know what? I kind of encompass all of those things. I look at the different aspects of it, and I really appreciate that point. But me personally, I do feel like all those things are encompassed into how you show love to somebody. Now, you're right. Those are different ways you can show love. You do have your preferences, and you have your preferences as to the way that you receive love. So, like, I think one of the most beautiful things that I've experienced is when a woman asks me, "Did you eat?"
Okay.
For me, I'm like, wow, you care enough to ask me that question. And it's to the point where it even feels kind of naggy. And I know some guys who hate that. I love it. I absolutely love it. The best is, I think one of the most beautiful experiences I've had is when someone did that and they actually like made me a plate. And I was not trying to eat. I was like, I'm not in the mood. But it was like, you need to eat. Like, come on, eat.
That's crazy.
I know guys who hate that. I know plenty of guys that will not tolerate
what's
that.
The hate for it? Like, I'm trying to
because they feel like, why are you telling me what to do?
Have a good day.
Don't tell me what to do.
Why are you trying to make
egotistic.
me? Bro, I love that. Especially like when a woman knows how to cook and she put her blood, sweat, and tears into the food that she made for you. And she's like, eat. I don't know what it is about that. But even before that, right? The asking, did you eat?
That's fact. That's a fact.
That asking is like,
It's a It's you
All
thinking
right.
about me.
I'll take you shopping. Okay.
Facts. But
Okay, I'll take you
you
shopping.
know the one thing I hate about love language though.
What?
Love language is kind of like wearing your weakness on your sleeve.
How so?
Cause it's like you ever heard the saying where it's just like whatever your love language is, you're like like the way to hurt you is through your love language. Because understand that's what you prioritize.
Ah.
So it's just like when you're talking about love language, it's like wearing your weakness on your sleeve.
Because
It's
that's what they'll use against you when they don't want
immediately
when they want to manipulate you.
Because right, if my love language is physical touch, right now you know what to do to get to me, right? Because my thing is, if my love language was physical touch, but it wasn't something like words of affirmation, which means you come at me with everything you could say. You could be like, "Yo, I never loved you." That's crazy. It's not. I'm not gonna blink. I'm not gonna shed a tear. But you're cold shouldering me. Don't touch me. Back up. Now you know where my weak spots is, and
Well,
you're
that's
gonna use that.
wild.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I never
use that.
loved you. Like, bro, let someone say that to me and we are simply just dating. Do you know what I'm doing as of right there?
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
Cut it off.
I think I don't know, if it's in the heated of the moment. My thing again. See, that's why I said certain people. It's just like
I get what you're saying now.
because the thing is, for me, it's just like, man, you're hot and you're annoying. Leave me alone.
See, you know what it is too? You know, I'll take that back. I think what I'm more likely to do is I will walk away from that person. But like, I'm going to give you your space. I'm going to let you do what you need to do. Because I noticed that, you know, having sisters, having moms, having a lot of aunties and cousins who are all females, right? Having so many of them and having few males in my family on my mom's side and my dad's side too. Having mostly female on these different sides of my family, that sometimes women will say things in the heat of the moment and they won't mean it at all. And they'll say things to try and get one up on you in the moment. But the minute you walk away and you let her calm down, she's like, I am so sorry I said that to you. And I've seen that. And I've also seen girls not apologize at all.
Yeah,
You know who you are.
non-apologeticers.
Non-apologetic. I hate that word, by the way. This is our topic. One of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to the new ways of saying words,
Semantics.
unapologetic is probably the most, I can't even say that word out loud. It's probably one of the most disrespectful things you could possibly say about somebody.
What do you mean by that?
Because if an artist is unapologetic, they're an artist. The whole point about them doing what they do is to not apologize for it because it's art. You don't apologize for art. So it's disrespectful to say, oh, they're unapologetically themselves. I'm like, that's so stupid. It's art. There's nothing to apologize for.
Because it's my interpretation of the world.
Correct.
So why should I
apologize
how I'm
for it?
viewing things?
Art is an opinion, and you have things that are facts.
You hear that, Kanye? It's crazy.
It's funny. I finally got the explanation of the whole slavery was a choice thing. And after hearing the explanation, I'm like, I get it. I see why he said what he said. It has nothing to do with actual slavery. It's more of slavery of the mind, signing contracts, knowing good and well what you're doing. It's a choice in a matter of not actual slavery, not bondage. It's a matter of signing contracts, signing your life away. That's what he meant. And I understand that now after a bunch of stuff that had transpired. The whole Dave Chappelle thing, him explaining things, because it was the same scenario. Calling somebody crazy, having them sign their life away, and now having controlling stake over your money. That was the whole point. I get it. I don't condone that phrase being said out loud, but I understand why it was said, and people took it out of context. But back to our conversation. Going in, I forgot what I just said for half a second. That was a little bit of a rant.
How, Sway?
That was a little bit of a rant, but looking at those facets, right? Someone using your love language against you. I feel like it depends on what it is.
What do you mean?
Because if your sense of touch is your love language, what if the sense of touch that they're giving you is something violent?
Give me an example.
Your love language is being touched on the arm like that, right? Maybe having soft skin. I think one of the most beautiful things of sense of touch is when women wear those really long nails and they just scratch lightly the back of your neck. That feels crazy. I've had that done before. That feels crazy. It's very soothing and relaxing. And it's so much, and I must not be the only one because they invented scratching massage.
Yeah. So
And it's getting really, really big. And it releases so many different chemicals in your brain at the same time.
what?
It releases endorphins, serotonin. There's another one it releases that puts you to sleep. Melatonin. It releases all of these things into your brain chemistry.
That's tough.
And I'm like, bro, I see why babies like getting their back scratched. You ever watch a baby when they're getting like their back lightly scratched or getting their back rubbed when a mom rubs their baby's back? Baby be knocked out.
In
Baby
like
be
5
knocked
seconds.
out. But now imagine that same sense of touch. What if that person goes, instead of giving you that light sense of touch, when they come near you, grab like that. Or when they go near your neck, act like they're about to give you a massage and dig deep into your shoulder blade and use that against you.
I mean, that's why, like, I'm not a big fan of love languages because it's just like, again, would you tell your enemy, hey, listen, you know, I
He said
love
your enemy.
I'm so not that love is a war, but love is a war.
Shout out to Tamar Braxton, bro. Love is war.
But like, yeah, honestly, it's just like, would you tell him, hey, listen, can you attack me from this plank because you know there's a big gaping hole right there, and you know I think it'll be unfair if you attack that area because I'm just gonna fold. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it kind of also says it takes away from the vulnerability because if you're protecting your love language, then you're not fully vulnerable with your partner. It's kind of like a
lack of
paradox
trust.
or like a catch-22 type thing.
Yeah. And I wish I never met her. Let me stop.
Bro.
I mean, hey, it's like that sometimes.
At the day, man, women are toxic.
Hey, man, I cannot condone. I cannot
He
disagree
does.
or
He just
agree
can't say
with
to
that.
y'all.
I'm not gonna say women are toxic. I say that everybody has times where they have traits that come off as toxic. And then there are some people who are truly toxic. They just don't care to change. It is not your job to change anybody. And if you're getting in a situation with the intentions of changing somebody because you think you can change them, ladies, I'm sorry, if he's a bad boy, you're not changing him into a nice guy. That's not how that works. There's nothing you can do to change that man.
You know what's the famous quote that said for women?
Uh-oh.
Facts. It was just like women need to understand that that man is the rule, not the exception. Every woman thinks, "Oh, I'm the exception. I'm the exception. I'm the exception." They can't be 5 billion exceptions and one reality.
Correct.
You need to realize, listen,
Unless it's a multiverse.
odds is this is reality type thing.
Yeah. Reality is majority of men have an easier time getting stuck in their ways than women. We have a much easier time getting stuck in our ways. And sometimes it happens early. Sometimes and a lot of times it does happen later. Like you say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, a lot of older men from old generations, that's kind of true. But, you know, there's a caveat to that. Get him a new bone.
That is a fact.
Get him a new bone and he will do some different tricks.
That is a fact.
You know, no pun intended. You have to take the good with the bad in a sense of it, but you know, also looking at the aspect of, do you want to be loved that way? And that's why I think communication comes into play. A good communication does come into play because do you want to love somebody in that manner?
Facts. That is a fact. But again, it's just one man's opinion turned into two men's opinion.
I didn't say I agree with you. I should agree with you on some of these things. I still think people need to learn how to love in general and learn how to put those pieces together, and then we have a well-rounded view of what love is.
What's love got to do got to do with it.
If you
But
don't
again,
do it for love, what do you do it for?
again, in my personal opinion, I'm gonna just leave it off with this. I honestly just feel like you need to understand your partner through and through.
Yeah, I agree.
And if their love language is a part of who they are, then earn understanding their love language, because them giving you their love language is also giving them the key to destroy them. And if someone's giving you that much vulnerability, then you need to treat it as such.
Message.
But don't gaslight them.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that. When you open up your vulnerability, you give people the keys, you give people the tools that they need to destroy you. And you have to trust that person enough to know that they won't ever do that to you. And you people who have that key to destroy them, you need to love that person enough to not exploit them and destroy them because you can. But hey, you know how we always say, what do you think?
Facts.
Peace out.